We're going to take a look at Netflix. Today's July 28, 2022, and we're just going to see where they are currently. All right, so Netflix is one of my favorite stocks. I did trade them for some time before they made this move here. As you can see, if you look in the past, Netflix has been a really good stock to trade in the past. And you can see here, they stayed above the 200 MA all this time, and they were continuing in an uptrend. They created this double bottom pattern here a few years back, then they broke out, then they created this bullish flag, broke out of this bullish flag here. And then once they hit that high of 700, they just plummeted all the way back down. But what makes this level so significant here? Because if you take a look here, in the recent past, you can see that Netflix was in an uptrend here, and they kind of held this level here, right, as a resistance. This was a resistance here because we're looking at the monthly chart. So 1, 2, 3 months, and then the 4-month here where they kind of took off at. So it was holding this area for about 4 months in the recent past, or in the past, and then they took off. Once they broke this level, they just kind of they did well, right? Until they hit this high of 700 and came back down. So they are currently here in this area right now. So there's a few things. One, it's a significant level of support, right, which is in a demand zone. And we know that typically in demand zones, there's some institutional money. So probably a lot of automated orders here. You can see here this month has some flow here, a little bit of money flow, and they're closing above. It appears, because there's only a couple more days in this month here, but it appears here that they are closing above this support level here, which is 202.65. So the fact that they're closing above 202.65 is good, because what's going to happen is Netflix will more than likely come back down and test this area as new support, but it does show us that they want to move forward. Now, the thing about Netflix is because they had this recent fall that was so crazy that they haven't really built any ceilings. I mean, I guess here would be a ceiling if you look at like previous history. So this is really the next ceiling on the monthly for Netflix, which is approximately 267. I mean, right now they're at about 224. So before they come back to even test this level here at 204, which is the support, which now is the new support because it just broke through as resistance here this month, then they're probably going to take it up here because there's really no ceiling until we get here to the 267 area. So we're going to look at the weekly just to confirm that. So you can see here on the weekly, for many weeks, they were trying to push past this level here, this 201 that we just drew on the monthly here, and they couldn't pass it. And finally, last week, they broke above it. And you can see here this week, they're staying above, right? So again, there is money flow is decreasing, which is good, which is showing some bullish momentum. They're pointing up here. I mean, they were way below, like at 4 before they started rising because of all of these falls. But you can see they're pointing up a little bit. And once they hit here, it may go like this, possibly, and then come back down to test that new support area before they continue to keep going. So this is what I'm looking at that could possibly happen with Netflix because of that big recent fall there. And they have a lot more momentum to come up a little bit. I mean, even if they only make it to above here, within the next several months, I mean, that's still a big move from this 201 going up. So what I'm looking at with Netflix is we could possibly come here to this 271 wall, right? Reject it because we'll be overbought on the daily, come back, test this level here again as new support before we come back up and possibly break through, creating this, this double bottom pattern. I mean, technically that's what it would be here. And you kind of do it like that here. That's the way it looks like it could possibly go. I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on Netflix because I do think that they, have some potential to go ahead and continue to rise just because they stopped at a very significant level and they held this 206 area on the monthly, which is where the 200-day moving average is. And you can see Netflix has always been above the 200-day moving average, right? And with this big candle going down like this, they didn't really create no ceiling. So of course, we're going to have to go back in history, which is here, to see that this was a support area. So this would be the next resistance area. But to me, this does show that Netflix has some potential to continue to rise. And if you can see here in previous history, Netflix was overbought for some time before it came down because it needed to pull back. I mean, it pulled back significantly, unexpected for many of us, but in any case, it still did pull back. So we'll take a look here. I mean, if it rejects this 262 and keeps going all the way down, then that's a problem. But as long as they can hold this 200, if they reject here and they can hold this 200-day moving average, which was around 200, then that would be good signs that they want to continue to go up. So nothing concrete on Netflix, but it is definitely a good stock to watch to see if they want to continue to rise from here.